What is up, viewers? Patrick from Proverbs is only back with another YouTube video on this episode number 5 of Making Decisions Week on Proverbs today. And today's verse comes out of Proverbs 18 verse 15, and it reads, "The heart of the discerning inquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out." And that's that verse means. So this morning it's time for our Rangers recap, and let's get straight into it. So we're gonna start in Hebrews 11, but before I read you the verses from Hebrews 11 and Hebrews 12, there was an interesting way of breaking down the book of Hebrews, and I'm gonna break it down for you. So the first chapter of Hebrews, to break it down, this section's where God speaks in the past, and also or where let me try again. This is basically where God speaks in past in bits and pieces. So not 100% fully, but just bits and just a little bit and stuff. He also spoke fully in his Son. So even though he spoke about the past in little bits and pieces, he 100% focused on the in his Son. Verse 1 through 5. That was verse 1. That was chapter 1, verse 1 through 4. Verse 1 through 5 through 2, verse 18. This is where the Son is greater than angels and law. So listen and do not drift away. That's talking about. Chapter 3, verse 1 through 4, verse 13. This is where the Son's greater than Moses and Joshua. So do not harden heart, but believe. In verse 4 through chapter 4, verse 14, and chapter 7, verse 28, this is where the Son's priesthood is greater than Levitical, so go forward, not backward. Chapter 8, verse 1 through chapter 10, verse 39, this is where the Son's covenant, the tabernacle, is greater than OT, whatever that is. So hold him and not old system. I think it's Old Testament, I'm thinking. And then now we get to the part where Hebrews 11 and Hebrews 12 comes in. So let me read these to you. Hebrews 11, starting at verse 1 through 27. And here we go. And it reads, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about what we do not see." Skipping all the way down to verse 7, it says, "By faith, Noah, when warned about things not yet seen in holy fear, built an ark to save his family. By his faith, he condemned the world, and because here of the righteousness that is in keeping with faith." So basically, the writer of Hebrews basically flashes back to the story of Noah, whenever he built the ark. And then we drop down just a little bit. Now we go to verse 10. "For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, where architect and builder is God." So, and then he not just mentions about the story of when Noah built the ark, he also mentioned about, I believe, Abraham. Whenever he was called to go to a place where he would go and receive his inheritance. Now we're going to jump all the way to verse 27. And it says, "By faith he left Egypt, not fearing the king's anger. He preserved because he saw him who was invisible." He's talking about Moses. So he talks about 3 people in this chapter. He talks about Noah, he talks about Abraham, and he also talks about Moses. Now we go to chapter 12. This is a very familiar passage, and here it is. Hebrews 12, verses 1 through 29. And here's what it says. "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us, fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. For the joy set before him he endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." Now, verse 3. "Considered him who endured such opposition from sinners, so that you will not grow weary and lose heart. In your struggle against sin, you have not yet resisted to the point of shedding your blood. I don't even know what that means, but that's a little awkward. All right, that was a little side note. Continuing, now we're going to jump all the way to verse 28 and 29. Here's what it says. Therefore, since we are receiving a kingdom that cannot be shaken, let us be thankful and so worship God acceptably with reverence and awe, for our God is a consuming fire. And that's all for the verse portion. So basically, to put this in a nutshell of chapter 11 verse 1 and chapter 12 verse 29, this is where the Old Testament believers and Jesus look forward, not back. It also says it also means do not refuse he who speaks. So basically, with the I don't even know what verse is even related to it. I think it's every single one. And finally, Hebrews 13 verse 1 and also 1 through 25. This is the closing exhortations. So that's the breakdown of Hebrews, and the verse to leave you with today, it is in 1 John 2 verses 15 through 16, which says, "Do not love the world or anything in the world. If anyone loves the world, love for the Father is not in them. For everything in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life comes not from the Father, but from the world." And that's going to do for the video. Thanks for watching, and until next time you meet again, viewers, in every way, God's way is always the best way.